Hey, Daddy, this is the man of the champions, Bill Fonzie Alfonso, giving a shout out to something else. Something else, Daddy.
This is Nickel Matan, Great Warrior Wolf, and you are listening to Something Else.
I'm Tony Cini, and you're listening to Something Else.
Hey everybody, it's Rich Palladino, the voice of New England, and you are listening to Something Else with Arya.
And welcome to episode number 231 of Something Else. Feast your hair holes on this week's episode as we take a look at Mid-South Wrestling and World Class Championship Wrestling from September 22nd, 1984. My name is Arya, and joining me as always is the Kendrick Lamar to my Bad Bunny. It's Trae. Trae, how the hell you doing today?
Okay, I tried to follow who was the rapper that Kendrick Lamar was feuding with, Drake.
I think so, yeah.
I tried to follow which one is the good guy and which one is the sleazebagger if they're both sleaze. I don't fucking know. So I don't know how to feel about what you just said to me.
Well, the reason why I mentioned, I know you don't follow the fake sports, but the NFL announced yesterday that Bad Bunny was going to be the halftime act at the Super Bowl this year.
I did see this,
And
yes.
and this caused all the maggots to immediately cancel the NFL because how dare they have this un-American Puerto Rican person sing at the Super Bowl? Of course, the same people not realizing that Puerto Rico is part of the US, but ignoring that. Now, the reason why this is interesting to me and why they're choosing to cancel the NFL is because 6 months ago during Super Bowl 59, when Kendrick Lamar was performing, they all canceled the NFL because they had Kendrick Lamar performing at the Super Bowl. So I'm curious as to when they uncanceled the NFL in order to recancel it now.
I I don't have the energy to think about those people.
Well, can we just say fuck off, people? Like, the Super Bowl halftime show is what, 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes? I don't know the exact time, but it's about 10 to 15 minutes. Go take a piss, go take a shit, go get something to eat, watch one of the 10,000 other channels out there. Um, if you don't give a shit about it, guess what? At the end of the day, and I said this last year with Kendrick Lamar when people were up in arms because the black guy was performing. The NFL doesn't give a fuck about middle-aged white guys. They don't. You're already a fan. And if you stop being a fan, it's not going to make a change in the advertising dollars because you're being replaced, and I'm being replaced as a middle-aged white woman. We're being replaced by people in the younger demographic. And people in the younger demographic don't want to see old white guys performing. They want to see young, hip, new artists. Hence, Kendrick Lamar, hence Bad Bunny. Now, Bad Bunny is not my cup of tea when it comes to music, but I accept the fact that not everything in the world is about me. So I move on with my life. And you should too. But if any of y'all actually, felt that way, I wouldn't need to rant right now, would I?
I The stupidest thing that I ever saw about this was somebody saying, "Well, there hasn't been a conservative Super Bowl halftime performer since Kid Rock in whatever 2001." And like, no fucking body would have called Kid Rock conservative in 2001. Like
No.
that just it shows how fucking stupid these people are. Like,
Pl- Plus, and I don't know everyone's fucking political leanings. I didn't go and ask Rihanna who she voted for a couple of years ago when the big controversy was whether or not she was pregnant. Um, Katy Perry, didn't ask who she voted for. Lady Gaga, when she jumped off the roof, I think was at the Superdome, I didn't ask who she voted for, you know? But whatever. By the way, this seems like a perfect time to bring up, now that I've alienated half of our audience, that my book is on sale tomorrow.
What
Uh,
what half of the listener did we alienate?
the one in charge of the checkbook, possibly.
Oh, that
Um,
one. That one didn't
yeah,
listen anyway.
yeah. 40 Years of Pay-Per-View, Book 2, 1991 through 1993, released tomorrow at midnight. You can pre-order it now on Kindle and Kindle Unlimited, and Amazon has assured me that it will be available on paperback beginning Wednesday. So please, please, please go order it. Make me rich so this way I can quit my shoot job and just make these crappy podcasts no one listens to.
Wouldn't that be
Actually,
terrific?
we have pretty good podcasts, but just no one listens to them.
Do
And,
we?
and
Do we do pretty good podcasts?
I think our listener agrees.
I
And
don't know.
yeah,
Like, I think it's pretty entertaining, but I'm pretty stupid. So, what do I know?
you know what? At the end of the day, we have the same couple people listen to it every week. We have to be doing something right that these people keep listening. And we have proof that some people listen to the end. We'll get to that on Thursday. But hey, I'll make the same. Actually, I can't say it now because, ignore that I just said this, people, and I'll try to remember this in like an hour and a half. However, we have some classic old school wrestling to talk about as we slowly approach my date of birth, October 29th. That should be a fun episode to talk about.
We're
I
also
guess it,
slowly approaching my date of birth. It's just further away.
yes, yes. I guess we're approaching everyone's date of birth, but some are closer than others.
Unless people are older than this. The listener could be older than that. Could be over what 41.
Yes. I mean, uh, by the way, did you realize that the Blade had spinal fusion surgery?
Yeah, I did. I had heard that a while back, and then I just happened to see. It's funny. The only wrestling news that I really get lately is that I have just the tab that comes up on my browser when I open it up. It's News Blur, so I'll get just some stories, and that was one today that he's going to be back soon. So that's very good. I'm a the Butcher and the Blade fan. I've always thought that you could do something with those guys. Very good tag team.
They were an underrated tag team, and we probably discussed his surgery on this show, but I'm sorry. It's like, there's so many wrestlers out there under surgery and whatnot that like it's hard to keep track of them all. But the Blade, even going back to his days in TNA, he was great. Although everyone remembers that awful Dark Order angle from the first few Dynamites. Do you remember when the Butcher and the Blade debuted?
Yes, I do.
Um, I think it was with Cody in the ring. All of a sudden, this guy randomly shows up in the ring, and Excalibur doing one of those, you know, I'm the only person on the planet who knows who this person is, so you should know them too. It's like, it's the Blade. And no one had any idea what the fuck he was talking about.
Yeah,
But
yeah, she didn't. Yeah, I was at their first match because it was the one pre-Dynamite or the one pre-pandemic Dynamite that I was out was when the Butcher and the Blade wrestled Cody and QT Marshall.
you mean QT Marshall?
Yes, the very same. That was the first time that I ever remember seeing him do his intentionally bad Space Flying Tiger drop.
Did you pop for it? Do you remember?
I did. I thought it was tremendous. I even tweeted about it, and he liked it because it's like I could tell that it was bad on purpose because you couldn't do it the way that he did unless you were like doing it on purpose. It looked
That's
shitty, but it was too
tremendous.
coordinated. QT
I
Marshall
get
is a
that.
really good worker, guy. Really, really underrated worker.
Was he ever actually signed with WWE? Like I remember he did NXT job duty for a while, but I don't remember if he was actually signed. It was just like kind of like James Storm, a veteran to come in and just kind of work on TV.
I don't remember him ever being signed. You know, the opening match at the first Ring of Honor show that I ever went to was QT Marshall against Kevin Steen.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Now well, actually, I guess my first ROH show was Showdown in the Sun Night One. But I'm trying to think. It was that show they did in Providence that wasn't supposed to be a pay-per-view, but it was like we need to prove that we can do a pay-per-view without getting kicked off the internet. During that time when all their
Oh.
shows couldn't be kicked to the internet, so they turned a random Providence, Rhode Island house show into a pay-per-view with Kevin Steen and Eddie Kingston, by the way, as the main event.
That's pretty
Um,
sweet.
yes. And the reason why I mentioned this, and I thought this was the dark match, but I guess it was the second match on the pay-per-view. QT Marshall defeated Matt Taven, Antonio Thomas, and Vinny Marsalia, the future Vincent, in a four-corner survival match for a Ring of Honor contract.
No, well, how about that?
Yes. And if you look at the card, like there was nothing wrong with it, but it was definitely not a pay-per-view card.
Yeah,
Um,
my first
I
Ring of
do.
Honor
I
show. I'm sorry, go ahead.
was gonna say they had the Briscoes versus Jimmy Jacobs and Steve Corino that I remember was really good.
Yeah. Yeah, like I had never even had the chance to go to Ring of Honor before because I was even in the middle of nowhere, Arkansas. But then I had when I moved to Mississippi to go to grad school the first time, that was when they ran I think it was the only time that they ran the Boutwell Auditorium in Birmingham. So that's one of my few historic venues that I've actually been to a show at.
Nice. And I went back and looked at the card for Showdown in the Sun Night One, and shockingly, considering he won a contract on a show 6 months later, QT Marshall was not on a show months before he won a contract.
How about that?
Yeah. Anyway, you want to talk about some Mid South?
I guess we probably should.
Sure, let's talk about it. Let's go to Mid South, September 22, 1984. Let's go to the intro with Jim Ross and Joel Watts.
Hello again, everybody, and welcome to Mid-South Wrestling, another exciting hour of the #1 sports wrestling television program in the country. I'm Jim Ross, and I'll be your host for all the action for the next 60 minutes. And here to provide our commentary with our color is analyst Joel Watts. And Joel, we've got an exciting card. Grizzly Smith has got a lot of the top names in wrestling here this week, and of course, we've got a tremendous TV main event.
We sure do. For our TV main event today, we're going to have Terry Taylor against Hercules Hernandez for the television title. Both tremendous athletes, Jim.
Well, I'll tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to come up just a little bit later in wrestling. You're also going to see Brickhouse Brown and Johnny Mantell teaming up. Magnum TA, the North American champion, is here. The Midnight Express, the Mid-South Tag Team champions, will be in action. Exotic Adrian Street will be here also. You know, ladies and gentlemen, last week when I was ring announcing here on Mid-South Wrestling, I met a man very auspiciously by the name of Master G. Master G came into the ring and he introduced himself to Hacksaw Butch Reed rather abruptly. Let's join the closing moments of that match.
Okay. So I was so overwhelmed by Joel's over enunciation of the television title match we're going to have between Terry Taylor and Hercules Hernandez that it did not occur to me until later on that Magnum TA was on this show.
Yeah, I didn't even catch that. I was also quite taken with the Terry Taylor television title. He put
Which
some steak on them, geez, which by the way, I am assuming that somebody is going to get fired for fucking up and putting a TV title match on TV.
I think this is the worst thing Grizzly Smith has ever done this week.
uh,
Maybe they'll get him fired. Um, But so yeah, Terry versus Herc for the TV title is your TV main event allegedly. And then we resaw the debut of Master G last week, who debuted as yet another black guy. And he came in carrying his green jacket, dropped it, beat up Butch Reed, and then calmly picked up his green jacket and walked away. And I felt bad because Butch Reed, or as Boyd referred to him as Mr. Beef, he got assaulted by someone who played a little football.
Oh, he sure looks like he played a little football.
He did. This is
I
not a
believe
lie. Yeah.
that was the first thing I asked you, if he played a little football.
I mean, it's the one way to get pushed in Mid-South, kind of.
Yeah. Even Tom Lentz got that one promo.
Yes. I was trying to remember his name.
Was that the most random fucking person to get a promo that we've seen?
Especially in retrospect, because not even like, oh, he got a promo 1 week and he got a few TV wins or whatever. Like, no, he got some promo time to build up to become a jobber next week on television.
The best thing ever was still Bill Rathke taking a shower.
Yeah. It's like, it's almost like it was a shoot just because of how Mercer and Akbar reacted. It was like, oh, fuck, there's somebody actually in the shower. It's like, should we reshoot this, guys? Like, nah, it's good. Oh, Lord. So after we saw the replay, we then go to the ring for the Midnight Express versus Rick McCord and Steve Miller. But before even Jim Cornette had something to say, Boyd has some company in the ring.
Hey, before you say anything, Mr. TV announcer, first, the boss man got something I want to say. Because you see, I want Master G down here, you understand? This sucker has done come out of nowhere. Only, who knows, I don't know where the fool come from. He got the first blood and on me. He done busted my head.
We got something for you, boy.
You got the first blood. I want Master G down here, you understand?
We got something for you, boy.
I got a little suit. I got a little suit that I want this sucker to wear, you see? Because this is my yard. And he talking about he gonna take over. He ain't taking over my yard. I'm running a bandit dude around out of his own doghouse, out of his own yard. I want Master G. Come on down here and face me, boy. I ain't going nowhere. I got all day. I'm gonna be here.
Thank you. We don't have all day. This event, wrestling fans, one fall with a 10-minute time limit. On my left, from Salem, Virginia, Rick McCord. His team partner, 218 pounds, from Alabama, Steve Miller. And
that thing. And now, I have the distinct privilege of introducing the Mid-South Tag Team Champions, Lean, Mean, Slick, and Quick, Loverboy Dennis and Beautiful Bobby, the Midnight Express.
All righty. So, Boyd Pierce is going to be the MVP this week. And we had a little bit of it here as Butch Reed and Buddy Landell in the ring. Butch is demanding that Master G come out at some point, and Buddy has a jar of tar and a big bag full of feathers. They are intending to tar and feather poor Master G.
Now, what makes you think that? Just because he has a bag of feathers and some?
I should not make assumptions. But yeah, I just love Boyd going, okay, that's enough. It's time for the match.
Don't make assumptions. You make an ass out of both of us.
That's true. I did make an ass out of you and Emption. So G apparently got first blood. So I guess this means Butch Reed wants first blood part 2.
That's good.
So Joel, who is just, as we've talked about, Joel is just one of the best announcers we've ever heard. And, it's amazing that this poor guy never got the shot in the big leagues as a color commentator, especially in like 94 when Vince was on his steroid trial and we had like no announcers. so we had to dig in deep and get like Art Donovan for a pay-per-view. Joel explained to us that ever since coming to the Mid-South region, the Midnight Express have become an even better tag team here in Mid-South.
Well,
There's probably a reason for that.
That's
you know?
true. Technically correct is the best kind of correct.
Yes. Eaton pinned Steve Miller after basically the demolition decapitation, but instead of the elbow drop, he did a knee drop instead.
That's pretty neat.
I like that they're like, it feels like they never do the same move twice, which
No.
I mean, at some point you think they're going to run out of moves to come up with, but it feels like they've never done a move twice as a finisher.
Yeah, it seems like something different every time. It's like the Thrill Seekers, but in a good way.
They're not stealing anybody else's finish in the territory.
I will say though, I don't know if you've seen it yet, but they did hit a hell of a finish this week.
Oh, the Thrill Seekers. I haven't watched Smoky Mountain yet.
Yeah.
But all right, from here we are scheduled to go back to the ring for Adrian Street with his servant Miss Linda versus the Alabama Junior Heavyweight Champion Mike Jackson. But Mr. Beef is back. Let's go back to the ring.
This event, one fall.
Hold it! I told you I got something I want to say. And what I want to know, I want you to know, Master Dentist, that I'm still here. Because you a coward, boy. I'm down here ready for you to face me. You talk about how bad you are, and you're going to run me out of my yard. Boy, I'm from the Show Me State of Missouri, and you got to show me. You, Brickhouse Brown, come on down here, baby. I got something for you so you can look real natural. Come on, Master.
That's enough. That's enough. This event, one fall.
Boyd, Snarky Boyd will never get old. I like that Butch came out to inform Master G that he's still here. Maybe Master G may have thought that, oh man, I missed my chance to accept his challenge, and so Butch just left. Nope, Butch is like, nope, I'm still here. Come out and face me.
People do just up and leave this territory all the time, so
Exactly. I mean, he could have got an offer for $5,000 to work in Madison Square Garden tonight.
Yeah.
I did laugh that Mike, when they were announcing Adrian Street, Mike was helping sweep feathers out of the ring that Buddy had blown out of the bag. What a nice young man.
Very nice.
I did note that even though they emphasized that Miss Linda is Adrian Street's servant, that he did not use her as a footstool this week.
Well, it has its limits.
Yeah. Well, speaking of limits, we've talked about how Mike Jackson is the Alabama Junior Heavyweight Champion, and he keeps losing every week, but he keeps wrestling people outside of the weight limit. Well, Adrian Street is 212 pounds, and I don't know what the weight limit is for the Alabama Junior Heavyweight title, but especially in 1984, that should count as under the weight limit, right?
It's not about weight limits. It's about no limits. And clearly, Adrian Street knows no limits. So yeah, I'm gonna consider Adrian Street the linear Alabama Junior Heavyweight Champion.
That's what I wrote. Adrian wanted the roll up to presumably become the new linear Alabama Junior Heavyweight Champion. Joel said that he's never seen anyone as bizarre as Adrian. And I was ready to call bullshit on that, but I'm like, you know what? Joel does live in Oklahoma, where the men are men and the women are too. To continue Joel's amazing commentary, he informed us that Jackson used a move called a reverse rear cup. Now,
beg pardon?
A reverse rear cup.
Cup?
C-U-P.
Huh.
Now,
all right.
the rest of us in the listening audience who watch wrestling, we would refer to that move that Mike Jackson used as a backslide. This is like when on Nitro, Bischoff would call every kick a back leg front kick. Even regardless of what it was.
Uh,
And so as mentioned, Adrian won with the roll up, and I count this as a title change.
was it Bischoff that would call an enziguri a back brain kick?
Probably.
Because technically, I think technically that is the correct translation.
But I mean, he's not calling karate; he's calling pro wrestling.
No, just the Japanese, the enziguri. Because I think I don't know. I think giri means head, and enzui means to the back of the head, so. Or no, giri means kick, and enzui means to the back of the head. Don't fucking have me trying to do Japanese on here. I don't know Japanese.
I didn't ask you to.
I wasn't talking to you. I was talking to me.
Okay. Trae translating Japanese. Kind of. So from here, Mr. Beef stayed in the back for the next match. It was Dale Vesey and Don Saunders versus Brickhouse Brown and Johnny Mantell. Now, we've discussed in the past, Trae, that sometimes we have to go back to the beginning of the match and re-listen to the intros to see who raises their hand to note which wrestler is which when they just announce people. Well, after going back to the beginning of this match and double-checking, I can confirm to you that Johnny Mantell was the white guy.
That's true. Remember, didn't Bob Brown and Dale Vesey team on here, and they look like the same guy, basically?
Yes, they did. Bulldog Bob Brown did the job on the show. That's my Don Callis doing an impersonation of Bulldog Bob Brown impersonation.
That's excellent.
Now, it was never explained where the fuck Brickhouse Brown was last week. Because he was supposed to wrestle Butch Reed, but instead of Brickhouse Brown, that's when Master G came out. Where the fuck was Brickhouse Brown? Now, even if we pretend that these weren't the exact same TV taping, fine. We never found out what the hell happened to the guy.
Well, you weren't supposed to ask about that.
Oh, okay. When did Johnny Mantell become a communist?
Beg pardon?
He won with a side Russian leg sweep. Why would he use a move that was apparently invented by our arch nemesis, the Russians?
He's a big giant Baba fan. He won with the Kawazu drop.
Well, he needs to alert Joel just to have to listen to Joel pronounce Kawazu drop. He needs to inform Joel of what this move is. Because
like Bill, he's still calling it a Russian foot sweep, which again is close enough.
I mean, I'd give him that, but it's still a Russian foot sweep. Why is it not the Texas foot sweep?
I wish I knew. I wish I knew the etymology of the name Russian leg sweep.
All right, so up next we were scheduled to have the North American champion Magnum TA versus Art Cruz. However, Butch Reed, who you can make the argument was afraid of Brickhouse Brown, was not afraid of Magnum TA and came out to call out Master G again.
This event, one fall.
Wait a minute, boy, Bill. You see me standing here? Master G, I'm still down here standing tall in my backyard, sucker. Magnum TA, you stand over there with that old skinning and grinning look on your face. I'll get to you. Don't you worry. But right now, I want us backstabbing, come sucker punching jive turkey named Master Gutless. I want him right out in the middle of this ring. I got something for you to wear to make you look real natural. Ask the junkyard dog. He wore 'em before, and boy, look hard, because you next. You scared. You just like that old green that dog.
That's enough. This event, one fall or 10-minute time limit.
Oh, I am loving this.
I love Boyd. Boyd's the best.
Every part of this, like not even just Boyd. Butch is doing a great job screaming about Master Gutless. Buddy is there being a goofball, blowing feathers all over the place. Magnum TA has this look like, what the fuck? Like, I haven't been on television in 2 months, and now I got to deal with this bullshit.
By the way, glad to see that Magnum TA's Wednesday night pottery class finally finished up, so he's able to come to television again.
He finally got a ride to the arena after realizing that Dog wasn't here anymore.
There we go.
Yeah. Where has Magnum TA been? Oh, where could he be?
I thought you were gonna go, where is the junkyard dog gone?
Well, I know where he went. He got $5,000 to work in Madison Square Garden. Actually, I'd like to think he commanded more than what Master G was offered. But,
Well, Master G has that intensive resume wrestling in Japan,
which I think when we looked last week, he hadn't yet actually wrestled in Japan.
From what I was able to discern, that is correct.
The pure Resu expert Trey Wisecarver, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, because it's not impossible that he worked for some small company that there's no results for, but I don't think we have very thorough results from most Japanese companies from the 70s on.
Yeah. All right. So I was wondering why this was a non-title match. I guess Magnum was so afraid of Art Cruz that he wouldn't put the title on the line. But then TA won with a belly to belly, so I guess he had no reason to be afraid of Art. I mean, it makes sense. Magnum hasn't been on the show in 2 months, so he may think Art Cruz is a real up-and-comer who's on a hot streak.
Hey, Art remembered that he was big, and they had a little bit of a hoss fight here. It wasn't bad.
Yeah, not bad at all. I gotta say, of all the matches that went longer than I expected this week, this was far from the worst.
I always think about, because isn't there a pretty substantial period in Crockett that TA wins all his matches in 30 seconds?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because it's results like that led to Dusty having a period of time where he'd have everybody win their matches in 30 seconds and then cut a promo, thinking he could create possibly a roster full of Magnum TAs, and he failed at that.
Yeah, that's not how that. You can't have a roster of Magnum TAs. You can't have a roster of Goldbergs. You can have a Goldberg, but you can have a roster of Goldbergs.
They actually, a little while, had the angle that NXT later stole with Baron Corbin and Bull Dempsey, where they would have Magnum and then Nikita almost back-to-back come out and wrestle 30-second job matches. And be like, oh shit, Magnum just won a match in 30 seconds. Nikita just won a match in 25 seconds. Man.
That was peak Baron Corbin when he was winning matches and the crowd was counting up and it'd be 24 seconds.
The worst part though was how disappointed they got when Baron stopped doing that. I just remember 1 week they're counting and they stopped at 45 because they realized the match wasn't ending anytime soon. And he got that deflated sense in the crowd aw, our fun is gone.
Didn't he have a takeover match with Austin Aries?
I'm almost sure that it's the takeover I was at.
That's a weird match.
True, but I'll say this, Baron Corbin's NXT theme and his entrance with the white dots, that was great.
Yeah, he had great music then.
Even though for a while he used the same theme, it wasn't the same with the red dots on the main roster.
Yeah.
And by the way, yes, Austin Aries versus Baron Corbin at NXT TakeOver Dallas.
Oh, there we go. I was
Yeah.
at Ring of Honor across the highway.
Meanwhile, I bought my ticket like days before they announced Nakamura was debuting on that show. And it's like, I was the luckiest human being ever.
Yeah.
Although I bet I could have made some decent money selling that ticket, but you know, I just couldn't.
Yeah.
All right. Television champion Terry Taylor, who is a stooge and a little bitch, versus Hercules Hernandez. Now, Trey, we're in Mid-South. So you like to think that, okay, they keep Terry Taylor being a stooge and a bitch purely to Mid-South. It couldn't possibly jump to a different promotion 20 years later, right?
Well, surely.
Well, tune in tomorrow to TNA, where Terry Taylor attempted to be a stooge and got bitched out due to it, or punked out due to it, by Kid Cash and Abyss.
You just can't stop Terry Taylor from stooging.
It was hilarious. Hey, spoiler alert, and block your ears if you don't want to be spoiled for a show, 24 hours in advance. But Kid Cash and Abyss took on America's Most Wanted. They cheated to win, and then Terry Taylor tried to come out and stooge it off to the referee to get him to reverse the decision. And then not only did the referee not reverse his decision, but Cash and Abyss beat the fuck out of Terry Taylor.
What you get for being a stooge and a little bitch.
Yes. Yes. I'm like, man, I don't know who Terry Taylor pissed off this week, but it's like, and the best part was like, and because like at first I'm like, okay, he's stooging off, we're getting a reverse decision DQ, and then Cash and Abyss beat him up. They're walking to the back, and Mike Tenay confirms that Cash and Abyss are the winners of the match. I'm like, so Terry Taylor tried to stooge him off, and it didn't work. Which actually, hey, I'll say this, made sense because, when there was interference in the next 5 matches and Terry Taylor didn't come out to protest the decision, it's like, well, it didn't work the first time. Why the fuck would he bother doing it again?
Hey, at least he learns.
Yes. I was sad because for some reason there was no Jim Cornette intro and there was no Jim Cornette at all at ringside. I don't know why Hercules was by himself, and that could explain the finish here. And I wrote, where is Terry's medal? And then it turns out that when Dr. Death had it, he beat up the medal when he had it, so he took it to a jeweler to get it fixed. Now, I do wonder who has to pay for those repairs. Like, if Terry Taylor has to pay that out of his own pocket, I know he's a bitch, so he probably would be too afraid to do this, but I'd hope he'd take Dr. Death to small claims court over how much it costs to repair the medal.
I think he just did it out of his own goodness of his heart, just to be a good citizen.
I don't know if there was an episode of the People's Court back in 1984 with Terry Taylor trying to get $200 of metal repair out of Dr. Death. I'm just picturing Dr. Death entering the courtroom wearing the Dr. Death helmet.
They still haven't wrestled for the TV title, and they've been feuding for it feels like this fucking feud has been going on for 3 months.
I think it has been, because it was when Crusher Khrushchev was still champion, is when he stole the medal.
Nothing has happened.
No. And it's funny because, I get, you got to draw on the house shows and whatnot, but, for the longest time, it's like, okay, you do the house show run, but then, because they built it up on TV so much, we're going to get a TV match out of it. And they didn't do it for Magnum versus Ernie Ladd. They didn't do it for Magnum and Butch Reed. And they haven't done it for Dr. Death and Terry Taylor.
Yeah, they usually do give you a TV match out of the big feuds sooner or later.
Yeah. Now, Trey, we've discussed this, and so I went back and checked. The television tournament for a medal and $10,000 ended 23 weeks ago on April 14th. Since that time, this is only the third TV title match on TV, and this is the first time that the match wasn't Terry Taylor versus Crusher Khrushchev.
Wow, they're gonna
Yes.
they fucked up. They let him lead the territory. They had to put somebody else in.
Yep. And I guess we'll see if we keep getting a TV title match every 8 weeks. That could
Well,
be the
who
rule. Maybe
can?
you only have to defend the title once every 56 days.
And that's all we get because our champion is a little bitch.
Yes, and a stooge.
I am Stooge.
I'm Stooge. We were informed during this match that Master G has finally accepted Butch Reed's challenge. It only took him 35 minutes, and he's going to wrestle Butch Reed this week on TV. Terry Taylor gave Randy Anderson a diving crossbody. He probably forgot that Hercules is his opponent and not the tiny referee because they look so much alike. I felt that due to that, he should be disqualified and stripped of the title. Outran Dr. Death and Carl Fergie. And Trae, one of those two assaulted Terry Taylor, and one of them called for a disqualification. I'll let you guess which one did which.
Well, I have seen Dr. Death act as a referee before.
And
So
I've seen Carl Fergie act as a wrestler.
As have I. Pretty boy Fergie in Mid-Atlantic.
Yeah. He was on this show the week before Jerry Lawler as King Carl Fergie.
Yes, he was. Oh, that was...
So Hercules grabbed Terry Taylor from behind. Terry Taylor moved, and then Steve Williams ran at Hercules with the helmet. A little bit of miscommunication there. Doc took off the helmet and swung it at Terry Taylor's head. The job crew ran in to quote unquote help. And to be honest, I think at least 3 job guys refused to come out when they saw Doc swinging the helmet at Terry Taylor's head. They were less help than Carl Fergie was, and all Carl was doing was standing there and waving his arms. Finally, Magnum TA, Brickhouse Brown, and John E. Mantell made the save. I keep writing Mantell, so when I read it, I want to say Dutch, but sadly, Dutch does not show up on this show, I don't think ever.
I wrote Magnum TA and Lesser Baby Faces, so I'm glad you remembered who.
I wrote it down, so I doubt I would have remembered had I not written it down.
There you go.
So despite being a stooge and a little bitch, I thought this match was perfectly acceptable. The finish was stupid, but and shouldn't Dr. Death now be fined $10,000? Although I guess the helmet is not a listed foreign object.
Yeah, that's the genius. That's why he's Dr. Death.
Oh, that's why he's Dr. Death.
I
thought he had 7 years of evil medical school.
Well, no, he just finished his undergraduate. He must have got an honorary doctorate in outthinking dumb baby faces.
Oh. All right, so let's go to Butch Reed versus Master G. And hey, if you thought Butch Reed talked before he had a match, he's got to talk some more. Let's go to Butch now.
This event, one.
There you go again, boy Pierce. Running out the match. Hey, Master G. The brick house, the real brick house is still standing here alive in his own backyard, you understand? And you better believe that it's my backyard. Now, boy, I done been beckoning you down here. I done insulted you to the maximum limit, you understand? I don't know what I got to do next. I guess that I got to come up there personally and grab you by your nappy hair and pull you out of that dressing room and make you come down here and make you get on your knees and make you call me master because I'm the real master here. You understand? I'm running the thing here And when I can't run back here, then it won't be no miss out, boy. Get down here, Master G. Master Goodness, get down here, boy. I heard about you talking to the dog. Did the dog tell you about how I used to dog him? Well, sucker, he didn't get nothing. He didn't get nothing. Tell him, Bud. He didn't get half of what you gonna get, right. Boy.
We said it. We
Understand? He didn't get half of what you gonna get. Get down here, Master G, and pay me homage. Pay me homage, boy.
Get over
He
your knees.
split my head. He split my head wide open. He drawn first blood. Come on down here, boy. Come on down here.
Wrestling fans, this match is one fall or television time remaining. From Kansas City, Kansas, Hacksaw Butch Reed. Now you've been warning Master G.
Master G better be glad that Butch Reed's got him, because
Let me
if I
tell you
got him, I'd
something.
tear him apart.
He's not going to get him until you leave this ring.
I'm going to lay this tarred feather right over there, Butch, so we can feather him after you get through Destiny.
Stipulation that Buddy Landell leaves the ring, and then we'll see Master G.
Oh, God. I don't know where they found Boyd Pierce, but we could use 10 more of him in pro wrestling right now.
I agree on that. Why was Butch still out there ranting and raving when, like, he had his match?
I mean, he didn't know if Master G would actually show up or not. I mean, we assumed he would. I mean, he's a baby face, so of course, in theory, he would show up, but it's possible that he thought Master G may still not show up.
So he was just going to talk, and then...
Yes. I would listen to 7 minutes of Butch Reed yelling about Master G and Boyd telling him off. Oh, God. He's the real brick house and the real master, and he wants G to pay him homage. I just wrote, I fucking love Boyd.
Boyd is great.
And this is when I texted you that Boyd was the MVP this week.
Yeah, he's great.
So G eventually came out, and he had theme music. How the hell did he get theme music?
I don't know, but Well Done should ask him.
Apparently, it's not that hard.
Well, maybe it is hard. Maybe Master G is just smarter than Mr. Well and Mr. Dunn.
I mean, Timothy Well and Stephen Dunn, they are the team of Well Done, but I don't even think they had music in the WWF either, now that I think about it. They seem to always be already in the ring when we came back from commercial.
Well, they pretty much are in SMW too.
So they punched each other a lot, and then Buddy ran in for the DQ because, shockingly, Buddy did not follow the established stipulations of this match, and there are established stipulations of like 5 seconds before the match began. So I don't blame Buddy for not following it. Those were not agreed to stipulations.
So you've only got to obey laws that were passed a long time ago?
No, but I think, after, in a real battle of fisticuffs, you can't make up rules after the agreement has been made. Like, you can't say, oh, we're going to have a match, and it's like, oh, and by the way, we're going to do it now where Buddy Landell is banned from ringside. Mind you, we weren't backstage for any potential negotiation, but you would think if it was a pre-planned and pre-agreed to stipulation, they would have told us this ahead of time.
Now, were they blatant fisticuffs?
I believe these were blatant fisticuffs because G and Butch seem to not know any other moves.
Well, Bill Mercer wasn't here to identify them for us.
That is true. So Reed goes for the middle rope shoulder tackle, and it's funny because the way he went outside the ropes to climb them, and so they claimed he was going to the top rope, and then he just stepped down to the middle rope, which made me laugh because he may be getting disqualified where Buddy's running in, but he's not going to get disqualified a second time for coming off the top rope.
Well, if you get disqualified twice, that's a double disqualification. Nobody wants that.
No. So G moved, and OMG, Reed hit Landell. G then barricaded Reed, and then was unable to open the jar of tar. Apparently, Buddy really got that thing on there. So G went to the corner post, and at first started doing that thing where you tap the lid a little bit on each side to loosen up the lid. And he either missed or just decided fuck it and just broke the fucking glass bottle on the post.
Yeah, he said fuck it. He said fuck it and broke it.
Getting glass all over the place, which I'm sure those fans in the front row loved. He poured some tar and about 87,000 feathers on Buddy. Butch actually at one point, and I don't know if this will get brought up, but Butch walked away when, in theory, he could have tried running in for the save.
Well, I mean, you got to have your limits.
I wonder what the people at the Irish O'Neill Boys Club think, like, when they go in to clean up on Saturday afternoons or whatever day these shows are taped, Wednesday evenings,
Wednesday.
And there's a bunch of tar and a bunch of feathers in the shower, multiple times.
This happens entirely too often.
Yes. I just wrote, I hope Junkyard Dog taught them how to wash it off.
You think he taught them anything before he left the territory?
I think it's possible, since he and Ernie Ladd were getting along until Ernie's recent return, that he may have told Ernie, and then Ernie passed it along to Butch and Buddy.
Oh, yeah, that sounds right.
So we go to yet another Rock and Roll Express music video, but like last week's, it was done over the credits of the show. And I noted that the show came to an end, and I know they told us last week that it wouldn't be cleared up until next week, but they never reminded us that we're going to find out next week what's going on with Jim Cornette's fine.
Well, if they say something's going to happen next week, it's going to be at least a couple
3 weeks.
Yeah.
Real Maskers may finally be on the show, along with the popular little girl wrestlers, by the time that happens. So, and then we'll also get Ric Flair versus Kerry Von Erich on the show. There'll be like an entire show where we get Mil Mascaras, the popular little girl wrestlers, the story about Jim Cornette's fine, and Ric Flair versus Kerry Von Erich, all on the same Mid-South show.
That'll be a Lulu.
Yes, it would be. So we go to World Class, and I wrote this before the start of the show. I'm like, it really says something about this show that every week when I turn it on, I'm hoping there is either an encore match, a Buck Zumhoff match, or even better, both. And it's I would genuinely want us to watch something else, except I really want to see, the dynamic duo. I really want to see Gino and Chris as a team. And it's like, I got to put up with a lot of bad crap in order to get to that point. And it's not even we'll get to it. Skimming through it, I don't think anything on this show was actually bad. It's just, like always, we have some very long matches that don't necessarily need to be very long.
Yeah, but yeah, you're right. For what it wasn't too bad this week.
Yeah. So let's go to the intro with Bill Mercer, who's going to tell us about the spectacular main event.
Welcome to World Class Championship Wrestling from the world-famous Sportatorium here in downtown Dallas, Texas. And I'm Bill Mercer, and we have for you a spectacular main event. This is Gino Hernandez, the American and Texas title holder, against Kerry Von Erich, the former World Heavyweight Champion. That's it. That's the main event. Gino Hernandez and Kerry Von Erich. In addition, you're going to see Chris Adams, a gentleman from England, one of those pretty young things, the missing link, and maybe Gino's bodyguard, Andrea, and maybe Stella Mae French. All this on World Class Championship Wrestling. And coming up is an encore match where Killer Khan destroyed Chick Donovan's knee. Next on World Class Championship Wrestling.
I love that, like, Mercer almost sounds disappointed when he's like, that's it. That's the match. That's the main event. But maybe we'll see Gino's bodyguard. And maybe we'll see, what's her name? Stella Mae French.
Maybe.
Huh. And then we get the magic words, and we're going to get an encore match, which is going to be Killer Khan destroying Chick Donovan's knee. I'm sure Chick Donovan sitting at home was super happy that they replayed that.
Maybe he got royalties for it.
There we go. I hope he got paid this week. Hopefully it's not like a Vince McMahon situation where he's getting paid $200 a week. Oh, I guess I don't know what his normal pay would be. So maybe $200 is good. But, still, I'm sure he would like more, especially if you're using his name to build up Killer Khan.
Do you remember the reason that Rick Rude left the WWF?
Because he was injured, but they were still plugging him as Wrestling Warrior in the main events, even though they were subbing him with Haku, and then they were paying him injury money. Brett said it was $200 a week when he was injured, and so Rude was probably getting something similar. However, feeling that rightfully so, if you're going to try to draw using his name, he should be getting paid a bit more.
Yeah, exactly. He should be getting paid what he would have been paid on the house if they're using his name. His problem was not the false advertising; it was that he wasn't getting paid for the benefits of the false advertising.
I would say even if you aren't giving him main event money, like knowing that you're using his name to help draw, like you may not give him main event money because he's not actually there, but you may give him, semi-main money or mid-card money even. I don't know what the normal pay would be on the average show, but I would kind of understand not paying him full main event money, but he should be getting paid more than also working for us but not working this week money. Because I think when we saw the SummerSlam 91 pay sheet, for instance, they were paying off not just everybody on the show, but they had the list of people who weren't booked on the show that they would get a token payoff. And it's probably very similar to that.
Yeah.
So we go to our opening match, which is Coco Ware versus Chris Adams with Gary Hart. I don't like Coco's chances in any kind of singles match. Mercer tells us that, as Gary Hart puts it, he's going to take Chris Adams to the gold. I don't know how everybody else puts it, but that seems pretty straightforward to me, Trey.
I don't know how else you put it. He's gonna strap the rocket to him. I don't know.
I don't know if you noticed, but I did. We were not sold out at the Sportatorium tonight.
No.
There were notably sections of empty seats. Not like full sections, but you could see large amounts of empty metal spaces where normally there were people at.
We are past the peak.
It appears that way. Adams used a cross arm breaker on Coco, and Coco was quite offended that Gary Hart was encouraging this. I wrote there's nothing wrong with this match, but it might be the longest singles match I have ever seen Coco Ware have. It went about 10 minutes, and Adams won with a super kick. And I'm not dissing Coco Beware, just that literally, can you remember him ever having a 10-minute match, ever? A singles 10-minute match?
I'm sure he did in Memphis, maybe not on TV, but I don't know, probably on TV. They do longer matches sometimes. This was a nice little wrestling match. It met or exceeded my expectations for a match on this show. And this was the point where Bill Mercer referred to the Blatant Fisticuffs, and that's when I messaged you that Blatant Fisticuffs should be a candidate for the episode title.
And since I didn't have any ideas for episode title, Blatant Fisticuffs it is.
Yay!
And actually, it's funny because I didn't remember where that was from, And so, like, I was listening the whole time in Mid-South going, okay, when did they mention Blatant Fisticuffs? But apparently they didn't.
Yeah,
All right. So from here we go to a gasp, a backstage promo where drunk Mark Lawrence has cornered 3 of our baby faces.
As the stars are arriving, we're here in the locker room, cornering a few of them, as we first have one of the most exciting and dynamic tag teams going today. Sweet Brown Sugar, Skip Young, and Iceman King Parsons.
That's right, people, and you can take that to the bank. You know, old Ice been all over the country, from one end of the globe to the other. But I got to admit, a lot of you people know him as Skip Young. A lot of you people know him as Sweet Brown Sugar. Well, me and the man is just like 2 peas in a pot. We don't start moving till the water get hot. Have mercy.
Okay, Ice, we turn it now to Skip Young. Skip, your thoughts on the tag team and also on the Pretty Young Things, one of which you will face next week.
Well, you know, Mark, as Iceman just said, he left me very few words to say about us being a new tag team partners. And I'm very excited about that, but it seems like we're having a little problem here. There's an obstacle in our way. There's this new tag team in here also that call themselves the Pretty Young Things. Well, you know, they took it up on themselves to start the trouble with me. They spit on me. They walked on me. They jumped on me in the ring. Iceman wasn't here. Now I've got a great tag team partner. But Mr. Pretty Young Thing, Norville Austin, I'm wrestling you, as a matter of fact, as of next week. So I'm going to tell you very short and simple. Give your soul to the Lord, because your blank is going to belong to me.
The words of Sweet Brown Sugar, Skip Young. Thank you, gentlemen. Here's Kerry Von Erich now. Kerry, glad you could step into the locker room before you get ready for the action. Like your thoughts on a couple of topics. First of all, the fact that Gino Hernandez has reclaimed the American Heavyweight Championship from your brother Mike.
That's right, Mark. You know, he ripped my little brother off, and all the people in Tarrant County Convention Center saw it. It's clear in everyone's mind how it happened. He's got a new bodyguard out he calls Andrea the Lady Giant. Well, I don't care who you bring. One, I don't think ladies should belong in the ring at all in the first place. But she's here, and so we got to deal with that problem as it comes. I'll tell you what, Hernandez. Stella Mae, she's been on this highway for a long time, driving down the road in those trucks. And I've seen Stella Mae pull over and beat up men a lot better than you on the side of the highway. And so now, when your bodyguard steps in, then Stella Mae is going to step in and take care of you and her, probably for me.
Okay, very quickly, Kerry, your thoughts on General Akbar and his forces of the 6-man interest for the World 6-man title.
Yeah, well, you know, everybody's got an interest in the 6-man world title, especially now that the Von Erichs got it. The Von Erichs are clearly, I think, the #1 team in the whole world for 6-man. And so like I said, you know, come on, we're ready. We're all in the best condition of our lives right now. So hand it to us, brother, because we're coming at you right now.
The words of Kerry Von Erich from the locker room.
Okay. So, first of all, when the hell did Iceman and Skip become a tag team?
Well, you see, they're both black.
I literally wrote, are we just putting all the black guys together in this territory?
You remember in PWG when El Generico and Human Tornado were 2 skinny black guys?
I never really watched or followed PWG. Was that their actual name, 2 skinny black guys?
The name was so funny. And then there was Kenny Omega and Chuck Taylor were men of low moral fiber. And then I think there was something that like El Generico and Chuck Taylor teamed together, and they were 2 skinny black guys of low moral fiber.
Sounds tremendous.
Yeah.
So maybe they could have been in a feud with, you know, the PYTs or Skip and Iceman.
Yeah, that would have been, yeah.
So they were standing in front of actual lockers, and each of the lockers had some tape on it with one of the wrestlers' name on it. And I noted that Skip's locker was next to Fred's. Who the fuck is Fred?
Huh. Who the fuck is Fred?
Yeah. I looked and I'm like, well, is Fred Ottman already in the territory? Nope. You may have heard Badung there over the audio. That was me trying to find looking up world class results from '84 and doing a control F search for Fred, and nobody named Fred popped up.
I don't know.
I don't want to insinuate that there may not have been a Fred here, but I don't think there was a Fred here.
What are you not insinuating?
That I think Kevin was on the other side, that Kevin didn't want to sit right next to Skip.
Oh.
You know? Yeah.
Well, that's...
Now, they do tell us that Skip is wrestling one of the pretty young things next week. I assume it's Norvell Austin. In fact, I'm pretty sure they said later on in this episode that it was, in fact, Norvell Austin.
I believe it was said.
Kerry is a sexist who doesn't believe ladies belong in the ring. With that said, he doesn't have a problem with Stella Mae because she's beating up guys better than Gino. How do we know Stella Mae is beating up guys better than Gino? Is Kerry stopping on the side of the road when he sees Stella Mae beating up guys and be like, hey, are you better than Gino Hernandez? I honestly believe in this scenario, I truly believe Kerry would stop on the side of the road to ask these guys to be beaten up if they were better than Gino Hernandez.
I mean, it's Kerry. He's not the brightest fella.
He's not the brightest light bulb in the drawer. And this, by the way, is the first time, almost 3 weeks after it happened, that we were informed that the Von Erichs finally won the 6-man tag titles.
They
beat the Freebirds on the Labor Day show, which was a legitimate loser leaves the territory match, and that they've never mentioned on the show. But yeah, the Freebirds are gone, at least for a little while, like in a legitimate gone for a little while way, not like they'll be back, tomorrow.
Tony Khan should be grateful that he will never be the worst booker of a trios championship.
And he's got 2 of them that he's being a bad booker with. Okay. How dare we ever go off on a tangent on this show? And I know we've kind of ranted about this before, but what the fuck? He merged the trios titles and then unmerged them. Like
because he had to have the Von Erichs win belts in Dallas.
So why couldn't they just be the AEW trios champions?
Because they're not that good.
Like that really matters at this point. Because I think that's when and I could be, because who cares about the fucking 6-man titles anyway? But I think that's when the patriarchy won it. And then they were supposed to lose it to Pac and the Lucha Brothers. And then the Lucha Brothers decided not to re-sign, so they got shelved for like 6 months. So then Pac became a de facto member of the Blackpool Combat Club, which then made him a de facto member of the Death Riders. And then when Pac returned last week, I'm like, wow, why are they adding Pac to the Death Riders? I'm like, oh yeah, he's been on the Death Riders for a year, but it was like much like him joining the Blackpool Combat Club. It was like, oh yeah, Pac is a part of that now.
I had not heard that. I had not heard that Pac had returned.
Yeah, I guess I just spoiled it for you. Pac came back. I forget which show he came back on, but Pac came back and he cut his hair. It's like a very short cut now. And at first I'm like, who the fuck is that?
Oh, that's going to be weird.
Yes. And I realized, so I'll save some surprises for you. I won't tell you why. At first I was angry because I thought Pac was joining the Blackpool Combat Club was joining the Death Riders. I'll save my annoyance for like 2 months from now when you get caught up. By the way, speaking of that, how was Forbidden Door?
It was pretty, I enjoyed it. It was, I enjoyed the first couple of Forbidden Doors a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
And then,
This
if
more
you're
or
not,
less was an AEW show with a couple appearances by New Japan guys.
yeah, yeah. And there was, a sprinkle of CMLL and a sprinkle of Stardom, but it was like those and I know a lot of people complained about the early Forbidden Door cards, and I didn't, because I understand interpromotional shows, just politically, you're not gonna get like the IWGP World Heavyweight Champion against the AEW World Champion and all that. That's just not
Right.
how that works. I enjoyed the cards that they did, and I just feel like I didn't like last year when the main event was Swerve and Ospreay, even though that was a fucking great match. I did not
I
like
was
that
at
they
that
did
show.
I did not like that they did a straight AEW match. And I don't know.
And
But
then this year they did Hangman and Max.
yeah,
Now,
and
I wasn't surprised that Max lost. I was surprised that Athena lost.
I was confused that Athena executed her contract for that title match because I had assumed, and this is my brain being New Japan pilled. I'm like, well, she pinned her in a tag match. She's entitled to a title shot.
Hmm? That would have made life too easy, you know. Um, so this was 6 weeks ago at this point, so I mean, you may have missed the annoyance about this, but what were your thoughts about the angle from the prior Dynamite, where I don't remember who it was that they were pouring gas over and throwing the set on fire to get Hangman to agree that Max didn't have to cash in his title shot to get the title match?
It was Mark Briscoe, and that was really stupid.
Mhm. They I'm not going to go into like specifics about what's recently happened, even though I did spoil one thing for you. But the one thing with AEW, and I think like this is what a lot of people's issues are with AEW, is the booking is very repetitive. And I don't mean the fact that they do rematches a lot, because they really don't do a lot of rematches, even when people would really get into it, like Powerhouse Hobbs versus Handsome Miro. But like Jon Moxley, and I may be crucified if anyone listened to this and heard me say this. Jon Moxley on AEW pay-per-views right now is where Abyss was in 2008, 2009. Every match, it's a hardcore blood and guts match, and people were tired of Abyss in 2009, and I'm sorry, I don't care, what, you know, people who drink the AEW Kool-Aid that AEW can do no wrong, people say, but people are tired of watching Jon Moxley in a hardcore blood and guts match every single month. Because that ultimately, at the end of the day, it's just going to keep raising the bar. Because if you keep booking him in similar matches, he's going to have to keep coming up with some way to top the last month. And hey, right now he's Superman and, is able to get through all this. At some point, Superman is going to find his kryptonite. And without spoiling anything, I'm worried that it is a lot sooner than later. Because the angle they're currently doing with Moxley, leading to the match that Moxley is about to have, I don't I don't have high hopes for how I'm going to feel about the finish of the match that he's going to have in a few weeks.
Well, that's ominous.
Yes. And that's not to say it might not be cool or whatever, but the way they're building it up on Dynamite, especially, it's like, okay, there's only one, in my opinion, the way they're building it up, there's only one way it can finish. And I hope they're not that fucking stupid.
Okay.
But we'll see. We'll see. I want to talk about some World Class again. By the way, all over the globe from one part of the country to the other, according to Iceman. people are talking about their team with Skip Young. We then go to the ring for our next match. It is Max with General Skandor Akbar versus Mike Gallagher with PWI t-shirt. And I'm like, well, Mike Gallagher is trying to kiss up to get into the 1984 PWI 500, not realizing that PWI 500 doesn't start until 1991.
Yeah, it sure didn't.
Yeah. Then we get Bill Mercer, and this is one of those, you're doing commentary by yourself, and you got to entertain yourself for an hour sometimes. Mercer starts wondering out loud what Max eats, wondering if he enjoys hamburgers and cheeseburgers, or if he eats leaves and nuts and fish that he catches by hand. I like that those are Max's only two options on what to eat, apparently.
Oh, that's fucking funny.
Max won with a diving knee drop that I thought was actually a diving headbutt, but I went back and relooked. It was, in fact, a knee drop.
I believe you. I wrote that it was a headbutt, but I believe you.
We are informed that next week, the main event is going to be Kevin Von Erich and gentleman Chris Adams versus Killer Khan and Scott Hall Irwin. Next week on World Class Championship Wrestling. But I didn't notice, was David Manning Von Erich here this week? Because they didn't have the intro. They did not have him in the intro standing in the ring. I did notice that.
No, it was Rick Hazard and Bronco Lubin.
Was Rick Hazard the curly-haired fellow?
The blonde curly-haired fellow, yeah.
Okay. I guess I didn't really look at him last week. Now let's go to attempted vehicular homicide.
We're here to talk with Gino Hernandez about regaining the American Heavyweight Championship and also to get a good look at Andrea the Lady Giant. Gino, double belt again.
Back in the saddle again. I said I'd get the American Heavyweight title back. No more looking over my shoulder because I got my bodyguard now, Nicola Roberts. No more worries about people interfering, especially Stella Mae French. The Texas title, the American Heavyweight title. It's smooth sailing from here on out.
Tried to get a comment from Stella Mae, but she's unavailable.
Oh, man, she's gone. She's never going to be seen in Texas again.
Stella Mae is history. Calm down. Stella Mae is history. And anybody else that wants to try to stick their nose where it doesn't belong will also be history, because right here is the biggest, the baddest, the most beautiful woman walking the face of the earth. And if anybody wants to interfere in my business, there'll be history, just like Stella Mae French.
Gino Hernandez confident again, alongside Andrea, the Lady Giant.
I just like that Mark Lawrence is just standing in the middle of the parking lot as Gino Hernandez is driving up in his sports car. Gino almost ran DML over, and if at first you don't succeed and all that. I wanted to believe that no one told Gino what his bodyguard's name was because he just called her Nicola Roberts. But I guess later on they do call her Nicola as well during the main event match.
Yeah, well, they said it was Nicola Roberts when she debuted. Which is funny, like I didn't even recognize her until they said her name.
I only recognized her because I'm like, there's only so many women that large, like in wrestling, and like I knew she had a run here before her Mid-Atlantic run.
I have not seen enough of that period of Mid-Atlantic to remember like everybody.
Honestly, it doesn't really pick up Mid-Atlantic until like June, July of '85. Because even after they go on TBS, it's still very meh at first, and then it picks up a few months into the run.
Okay.
Kind of in the build-up, honestly, to the Great American Bash, with Flair and Nikita with David Crockett as the referee. That's when it picks up, in my humble opinion.
Okay.
We then go to our main event, which is American/Texas champion Gino Hernandez with Andrea the Lady Giant versus Kerry Von Erich. And I think since they called her Nicola Roberts, I got to pull out my my favorite angry British guy reference by saying, there's a huge difference between me saying, Nicola, I'd like to go for a lovely walk with you, and Nicola, I'd love to make a hat out of your fucking entrails.
That is quite a difference.
Yes. Shout out to Malcolm fucking Tucker. We're reminded that the greatest show in San Antonio is coming soon. And I guess while I've got Cage Match Loader, I should try to find the greatest show ever in San Antonio. And personally, I'm happy that San Antonio was able to bid high enough to get the greatest show ever in San Antonio, because it wouldn't be the same if the greatest show in San Antonio happened in like Tupelo or something.
Yeah, or even Houston. Like, as a Houstonian, I have to say that the greatest. I'm glad that the greatest show in the history of San Antonio will be in San Antonio.
Yes. Now the funny thing is, I found the next San Antonio show, and I mean, let me tell you the results. So outside of the first few matches, so from the top down, the Jake Roberts and the Dynamic Duo, which tells you how close we are to that, defeat Iceman King Parsons and the Von Erichs. The Fantastics defeat the Midnight Express. In a tape fist match, Jose Lothario beats Max. Buck Zumhoff defeats Coco Ware. Iceman Parsons beats Bill Irwin. Yes, Iceman working twice on this show. They probably did an angle with Mike at some point. Kelly Kiniski and Skip Young did a time limit draw. And the opener, El Gran Diablo, whoever the hell that is, and Norvell Austin went to a time limit draw. So the show opened with 2 time limit draws for the greatest event ever in San Antonio.
Jose Lothario and Max sounds like a Lulu.
I bet. You know, it's Super Sock Jose Lothario with tape fists now. That's just unfair.
Yeah.
I think the fair part of this would be if Missing Link was able to tape his head. Because, I mean, Max doesn't use a lot of punches. He's very much a head buddy guy.
He is a head buddy guy.
Yeah. But yeah, that's the next show in San Antonio, October 21st. So it's, you know, I don't know. Let's see here. Judging purely by, results going on, Chris Adams appears to turn heel, if he hasn't already, within the next week. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Actually, I don't know when this is, but September 28th has a world-class TV taping where he and Kevin Von Erich take on Gino Hernandez and Jake Roberts. And looking at, well, actually, no, because they teamed after that. Never mind. Although that probably aired after that. So, well, hey, that's an event in San Antonio. I don't think this is the greatest event in San Antonio ever, because I think the other one sounds better. But so I'm thinking we get a Horseman beatdown of Kevin Von Erich coming up in a couple weeks on TV.
Well, the way that things went tonight certainly, or on this show, certainly indicated that it's a coming soon for Chris.
Yep. I also believe we're going to be able to skip an entire main event coming up soon.
Oh, how about that?
What was that?
How about that?
Yep. And I'm sure you could guess why. I'm being very cryptic, I'm sure.
Is it an encore Buff Zumhoff match?
It was one of those two.
Okay.
Oh my God. This is a match we may need to hunt down. From the Fort Worth TV taping, September 17th, Ric Flair defended the World Heavyweight title against gentleman Chris Adams. That sounds quite good.
That does sound interesting.
By the way, speaking of Chris Adams, he's also our TV champion at this point. He defeated Jake Roberts at the Labor Day Star Wars show.
Again, Bill Dundee can thank Ken Mantell for not being the worst TV title booker of all time.
This is like the greatest thing that the World Class is a TV title that never, ever gets mentioned on the World Class show. By the way, since I've been talking over it, let's go to American champion Gino Hernandez versus Kerry Von Erich. The audio and video got warped on my copy, which I'm pretty sure was all the copies because it's the Peacock version.
Yeah.
Gino took over when Kerry went shoulder first into the post. I have a feeling that one has to do with the other, and if we didn't get the video distortion, Kerry never would have lost the advantage.
I that's an interesting hypothesis.
I did feel bad for Kerry because 3 months ago or 4 months ago, he's the world champion. And here he's making his comeback and nobody cares because Stella Mae appeared at ringside. So Gino heaves Kerry out of the ring. And did you see the little girl go over to pat Kerry on the shoulder and get pulled away?
Yes.
Kerry got back in the ring so Gino could throw him right back out of it in front of the referee this time for the disqualification. Gino put an old lady in a full Nelson. And it's like the one time Stella Mae hasn't looked like, a real threat is when Gino put her in the full Nelson to be hold for a baby doll. Because I'm like, man, she no longer looks like a badass. She looks like a little old lady.
Yeah.
And Kerry made the save as the heels bailed.
That is correct. That is what I saw as well.
Yep. As always, not a bad match. I guess it doesn't matter whether or not the title's on the line because we had a DQ finish. But we still only have one title belt. Whatever happened to that Texas heavyweight title belt?
Was there a separate one?
I kind of assumed there was, especially after Gino lost the American title. He wasn't suddenly coming out with the same belt that they were saying was the Texas title. He just came out with no belt.
Well, guess we'll have to see.
Yeah. So apparently Sting's son is making his wrestling debut next week. There's apparently going to be an art exhibition put on by Darby Allin, and Sting's son is going to be wrestling on that show.
Is that part of the art?
Apparently, yes.
Okay.
Now, there's no word on whether or not he's here to finally get revenge on Kurt Angle from that time Kurt showed up at his football game when he was a kid.
Has anybody told him that Kurt's retired?
I don't know, to be honest. It's possible that Dad didn't smarten him up for it yet. And it's funny because I can't even tell you what city this is at. It just says 52W Hardway. Maybe I should do a Google search. And even that just brings me to 52 Walker presents 52W Hardway live wrestling. This is a great plug. We don't know where the fuck. Oh, New York, 52 Walker Street. So if you're in New York, you could go watch Darby Allin, Killer Cross, AR Fox, Steve Borden Jr., Sid Ellington, whoever that is, Kieran Gray, whoever that is, for $25.23.
He should have the balls to just be Sting Jr. Just go all the way with it. Elijo de Sting.
Sting 3 Jr. Although I guess have Sting 3.
So he has the brother, so I guess one brother has to be Sting Jr. and the other has to be Elijo del Sting.
Oh, Lord. Tells you what we thought about World Class when we immediately switched to talk about Sting's son.
Did we finish this show? Is it over?
We did. We did.
That's good.
I guess I think with the algorithm it makes sense, but Izzy keeps popping up on my Instagram feed, even though I don't follow her. And it's just weird. And not so much weird, I guess. It's the man, am I old thing. because it was like 11 years ago when that picture or that screenshot came out of her reaching out to grab Finn Balor's ass during Finn Balor's entrance.
Yeah, it was it'll be 10 years ago in January. The one time that I went to Full Sail, it was an NXT taping, and they did the what I believe was the one and only taping for WWE Kids, and she was the interviewer when she was like 11.
Oh Lord. Any other memories from that NXT TV taping?
It wasn't anything particularly big. There was a women's battle royal, and then like I think Joe wrestled Johnny Gargano, and like Sami Zayn wrestled somebody, and then I think Baron Corbin wrestled somebody, and they ended up in like a three-way to see who was going to get the title shot at Finn Balor. Balor wrestled Uhaa Nation, Apollo Crews.
Okay. That
That's all
was
I remember.
right after Apollo Crews debuted, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, he hadn't been there very long at that point.
Yeah. I'm now quickly trying to find information just to ring your memory and see what we can find here.
Yeah, that was just I was going to Orlando for a conference, and there was an NXT taping that week, and then I had a car, so I actually went to like a random Florida Loop house show the next night. And then I did that another time. Another time I just happened to be in Orlando. I went to a house show in Winter Haven.
So uno momento por favor.
Por favor.
They've lumped the NXT results into the WWE main roster results, so it's taking a little bit longer than it should to go diving into the Wayback Machine here to find out the results of this television taping. Here we go. January 7, 2016. Were the tapings of 4 episodes, and you got to see as dark matches Becky Lynch defeating Natalya and the Big Show defeating Heath Slater.
Yeah, those were the matches for WWE Kids.
Ah, okay. They're listed as dark matches on.
Yeah, I don't think they even ever aired, but it was a WWE Kids like concept thing.
Here's some interesting results. Colin Cassidy and Enzo Amore defeated the team of Jack Hurley and Ricky Stark.
Oh, wow.
Yes. That women's number 1 title battle royal, do you remember who won that match?
Was it Carmella?
It was Carmella. She defeated Alexa Bliss, Aaliyah, Asuka, Billie Kay, Cameron, Deonna Purrazzo, Emma, Eva Marie, Liv Morgan, and Peyton Royce. That sounds incredibly awful.
It was not good. It was not good.
I didn't think it was a 5-star bout there. Let's see, anything else notable? You mentioned Samoa Joe defeating Johnny Gargano. Baron Corbin beat Rich Swann. This was before the Cruiserweight Classic?
Yes, it was.
Yeah, because the Cruiserweight Classic was July at that year, I believe. Alex Riley got to win a match, which is just stupendous to me. And other than that, like even the job matches, like wasn't anybody to like, oh, look at this diamond in the rough doing a job at NXT TV that, except for like Ricky Starks, like I mentioned. I guess Santana Garrett lost to Asuka, but Santana was doing pretty regular NXT job duty at the time.
I think the next night in Tampa was the night I was there before the show, and I see a guy, and it like he hadn't been like announced as being signed yet, but I'm like, I go over like, are you Biff Busick? And he goes, yeah. He soon became what? Fuck, what was his name? Oni Lorcan.
Oni Lorcan. Yep.
Yeah. Biff Busick in Evolve was fucking tremendous, though.
I can't even tell you what the main event of this show was because I'm looking at the order, top to bottom or bottom to top. Neither looks like a main event. So I guess I can figure it out, but like the last listed match is Bull Dempsey and Finn Balor defeating Tino Sabatelli and Ty Dillinger, which I guess was the main event, but
That
it
was
was
the
more.
main event. Yeah. I remember it was Finn and Bull Dempsey, and I saw at least one person call it Bullfit Club.
Oh, that's tremendous. The opener was the Hype Bros defeating Marcus Louis and Sawyer Fulton, the future Madman Fulton, who's deceptively huge. I must tell you
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yes. I was looking. Here was another one. Alexa Bliss, Eva Marie, and Peyton Royce defeated Adrian Reese, Aaliyah, and Liv Morgan. I'm looking like, who the fuck is Adrian Reese? I know that name, and it's Athena. Manny, yeah, Manny
I just
Andrade.
remember.
In the first time he was in WWE, Manny Andrade defeated the future Madcap Moss.
Is that at the 2016 one?
Yep.
Oh
my God.
One of the
Go
shows,
ahead.
and it must have been that one. One of the shows that I was at, it was his like first match, like his first NXT house show match. It must have been that one.
That could have been it.
And that was also like that was Kenta's first match in like when he was out a really long time for that shoulder injury. It was his first match back.
I don't see a Tommy listed here, so maybe in a different show.
Maybe.
I said, oh my God, because one of the matches was American Alpha and Apollo Crews defeating the Revival and Angelo Dawkins. And I just remembered pre-Street Profits, Angelo Dawkins' gimmick. His gimmick was he wore two headbands while wrestling.
I didn't remember that. That's tremendous.
Yes. This was a fact that, like, it wasn't just like a throwaway fact brought up, like, whatever. Like, no, this was constantly focused on NXT TV that he wore two headbands.
Well,
Yes.
you gotta focus on the important things.
And by the way, that was Manny Andrade's first WWE match.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember?
Yeah.
Do you remember the fucking storyline they did where how they debuted Zelina Vega was because Andrade was on NXT, and after he would have his match, he would go out at night and party. And this was always, for whatever reason, would always happen to be on the segment right after No Way Jose, whose entire gimmick was he partied nonstop.
He
Like,
loved the
why is it?
nightlife. He liked the booking.
Why is it okay for No Way Jose to party all the time when Andrade was not allowed to party after the show ended?
Well, because No Way Jose doesn't have a mean manager.
That's true. And hey, Zelina Vega, she made him stop partying, and then he won the NXT title.
It's true. I was at that show, I think.
You love how these shows just go completely off the rail.
It's kind of weird, like just the shows that you happen to be at that ended up being like big moments. Like the first episode of Raw that I ever went to was Occupy Raw.
Nice. The first Raw I went to, Shawn Michaels got stuck in the entrance ramp in his gear when he knelt down to pray. And that was also when Maria accidentally called his opponent The Edge, and that then was with the start of her stupid gimmick.
Poor Maria.
Yep. And it was CM Punk versus Val Venus in a heat match.
Oh, yeah.
The wrong guy won. Oh yeah, then I went to a SmackDown in Hershey, Pennsylvania, which was the second night, or really the fourth night, but the second SmackDown night of the draft lottery, where Randy Orton was the drafted wrestler. Let's see. I went to a SmackDown ECW TV taping after SummerSlam 2006, where Sabu got disqualified against the Big Show, and the person I went with asked, "Wasn't this an Extreme Rules match?" And I'm like, "Nope, it was an Extreme Enforcement of the Rules match." Like, honestly, the first time I saw something that became a big deal on TV was when Vince McMahon went boom.
Oh,
And
you were
look,
at that.
I was. Before that,
How
the
about that?
biggest thing I saw live that didn't count because it got edited off the show was Mark Henry taking 10 minutes to break a lock on a cage door.
Probably for the best that they didn't leave that on.
Yep. They were running out of time, you see, on UPN, so they had to cut that.
Yeah.
I was at the. I guess this was a pretty big deal. This was before Vince went boom. I was at the Raw SmackDown taping after Van Dam got busted for smoking pot.
Oh.
It was the biggest, shocking moment ever. It turns out Rob Van Dam is a pot smoker.
The guy who was in High Times magazine. Can't imagine.
Yes. Yep. The Survivor Series 06, with Batista and King Booker in the main event.
Ooh.
Yes. And
Was was that your first world title change?
Yes. No. The first one would have been Edge, Cena, Van Dam.
Oh, okay.
That was July of 06. Yeah.
All right.
And it's funny because I had to work that day, and then we went straight from work to Phillies, and this was before smartphones, so I did not know Van Dam got busted for pot and all that. So when I went to the show and they announced, "Oh, we're gonna do Cena, Edge, Van Dam tonight," I'm like, "Oh fuck, this is great." And then when Van Dam lost, I'm like, "Fuck." And then I got home and turned on the internet and saw why Van Dam lost.
Because that had been the match for the pay-per-view.
Saturday night's main event.
Or Saturday night's main event.
Yeah.
And so that Raw was supposed to be, they were going to do like a three-way tag match with Van Dam and Sabu against Edge and somebody, against Cena and somebody, I think.
It was supposed to be a mystery dream partner tag match, and Van Dam was going to be with Sabu, Cena was going to be with Flair, and Edge was going to be with Foley.
That would have been so awesome. I'm so sad that match didn't happen.
Yep. God damn it, Rob Van Dam. Why you smoke pot?
Rob Van Dam you.
Yep. ECW was cursed from the beginning. The WWE ECW version. Because it's and I guess you could say, well, it was never going to work out even if everything had worked out. But it's they start ECW. And yeah, the first week sucked. But people forget, the second week was a really good Van Dam and Kurt Angle versus Edge and Randy Orton match. And then the third week they had Van Dam versus Angle. And these were 20-minute main event matches. But of course you're not going to remember that. You remember that the Sandman beat up, Tony DeVito, and whatever else happened.
I absolutely remember that Angle and Van Dam tag match because it was the source of a GIF that I had as my message board signature forever, where Van Dam had the Cena spinner belt, and he did it like he was DJ, doing a thing on a disc and then spun it. It was one of my favorite things ever. The first ECW. Look at this one; it spins.
That's because they wanted him to trash the spinner belt, and
but
he didn't.
And it wasn't because of the legacy of the WWE Championship. It was just, it spins.
And that made the most sense of anything. Of course, Van Dam, surprisingly, he smokes pot, people. Doing that. Um, and I mean, I guess those were the big ones I'd been at for a while. Like I saw I went to a SmackDown where like Too Cold Scorpio did a dark match. That was awesome. I think I was the only
Cool.
person who recognized him because I'm like, holy shit, it's Too Cold Scorpio, and everyone just turned and looked at me like, who the fuck are you, you mark?
I was at a SmackDown with a Neville versus Sami Zayn dark match when they were still in NXT.
Nice, nice. I guess I shouldn't say that because I guess I've been to a few. I was gonna say I can't remember the last Raw I went to that wasn't attached to WrestleMania. But actually, now that I think about it, I really can't remember it because like every other show I've been to, I can think of it's a SmackDown. So at some point, I'm sure I went to an episode of Raw at some point in the last 15 years that was not attached to WrestleMania, but I'm blanking on when that could possibly have been.
I can't
But
remember. I can't remember which one was last. I went because it was like when Finn Balor won the Universal title and fucked up his shoulder, so they were gonna have to do a four-way match like the next week, and that just happened
oh
to be in
god,
Houston. So I was like,
yeah.
well, fuck, I'll go to that. And then there was one that I think might have been after that, like sometime in 2017, that was in Little Rock, and I was at home and I took my nephews.
Nice.
I don't remember
Yeah,
anything about that except that Seth Rollins was the Intercontinental Champion. Oh, I think it was like a it might have been like the go home show for a Money in the Bank because I remember like a talking segment with like everybody that was in the ladder matches.
it wasn't the one where R-Truth came out and talked about how he was going to win and had to be reminded he wasn't in the Money in the Bank ladder match, was it?
I don't think it was that one. I think I would remember that.
By the way, speaking of R-Truth, where the hell is R-Truth?
I haven't a clue. Is he lost?
I mean, I, I guess I don't watch WWE, so like, but to the best of my knowledge, he hasn't been on the show uh for the past couple months, actually.
Really? After he got fired and then came back and they pretended that it was a plan all along. They didn't do anything with him after that.
Well, let's take a look. Let's look up the always reliable cage match and see. And this is where it could be like, oh, R-Truth is wrestling on Raw every week, and I'm like, oh, okay. So nope. His last TV match was on the July 11th SmackDown, defeating Aleister Black, which is also the what the hell
Oh,
happened to Aleister Black thing.
that motherfucker. I'm so annoyed at him.
Aleister Black or R-Truth?
Aleister Black, how can you be annoyed at R-Truth? He's just R-Truth.
I don't know. That's why I asked. Anyway, why are you pissed off at Aleister Black?
Oh, he was in a cool place doing a cool gimmick, and then he went back there, and it's just why. It's a waste.
I don't know. Earlier today, I legitimately was like, what the hell ever happened to Dragon Lee? He fell off the face of the earth. And then I did a quick Google search. I'm like, oh yeah, he got signed by the E a few years ago.
I knew he was there. I did.
Yeah. Apparently he's on TV a lot more frequently than I think he is, because you know he doesn't win a whole lot, but he sure is on TV a lot. Um, I guess he did win something. He won the AAA Mega Title #1 contendership three-way against El Grande Americano and El Hijo del Vikingo on the September 27th AAA show.
How about that?
And if you watch Main Event, he defeated another person that you may have forgotten works for the company, Akira Tozawa.
I'm astounded that Akira Tozawa has been in WWE for this long.
He's been in for a fucking decade. I was about to say, when was the last time he was on real TV? But Rusev squashed him on May 26th. Before that, he was in the Battle Royal. Before that, he got squashed by Gunther. And before that, he had a competitive match with Carmelo Hayes, which tells you more about the state of Carmelo Hayes than it tells you about Akira Tozawa at the time. And then he was the one that got beat up at the Royal Rumble randomly, and that's when Triple H just happened to run into one of Logan Paul's douchebag friends and sent him to the ring.
Oh, poor guy. But
Yes.
hey, good for Tozawa for getting a Rumble spot in the first place.
Yes. Those drawings, like I don't want to call them rigged or anything, but like, how is Akira Tozawa never like lucked into like the number 29 spot or something?
He'd probably win if he did.
Yeah. Why hasn't more people done the Nunzio tactic of coming down and just sitting at the barricades? Especially a smaller guy, they may not notice sitting there.
I just don't think anybody wants to emulate Enzo's life choices.
Not Enzo, Nunzio. Guido.
Oh, Nunzio.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
At first I was like, what the hell did Nunzio do?
I'm sorry. I just heard the Zo, I guess.
It's possible. Yeah, we've gone almost 2 hours, and some of it was actually about the show.
That's probably good. It's probably good.
All right, so let's call it a day. We're going to be back on Thursday for Smoky Mountain. Tape tomorrow. Spoiler alert. By the way, if you are still listening to the show at this point, comment below, and we will shout you out on the show next week. There's somebody who will be shouted out on Thursday, because believe it or not, somebody did listen all the way to the end of the show last Thursday.
That person must be really bored at their job or something.
There you go. This is a great thing to listen to when you're bored at work, ladies and gentlemen. So before we go, my book is on sale tomorrow. Go listen to it. Wow. Go buy it. You can't listen to it yet. That's coming later on this year. Go buy it. Paperback, Kindle Unlimited. If you hate me and hate the book, why the hell are you listening to 2 hours of me if you hate me that much? But download the book on Kindle Unlimited, start at page 1, speed read to the end, because I get paid per page read. And then leave me a 5-star review, because, you're nice like that. But that's going to do it for this week's show. Thank you all for listening, and we'll talk to you again in 7 days.
Bye.